Following is a brief tutorial on how to print an official roster, tournament roster, and forms needed for check-in at the Park City Extreme Cup. Go to the Utah Youth Soccer main page, member login, to log into your account. Enter your username and password. When you get into your account, scroll down to the team that you would like to register for the tournament. Click Edit under the team name. This will bring up a listing of all of your players that you currently have registered to your team. Make sure that all the players are listed and that there's a photograph of each player. If everything looks good, go ahead and hit the Print Team Roster tab or button at the bottom, which should bring up your team roster. You can go ahead and print the roster from this point. If everyone is not listed on your roster, you will want to contact your club registrar and find out why the person is not listed on the roster. This is not something that we can help you with at the Park City tournament. If everybody looks good, the next thing you're going to want to do is print your tournament rosters. So go back to your UISA account. Okay, so back to the main page. Go down and hit the Tournament tab. You'll want to go ahead and click Tournament Roster. Create a new request. And then you'll need to enter the tournament information. The tournament name is Park City Extreme Cup. The Soccer Federation is UISA. The event start date is July 30th. The end date is August 1st. The country is United States. The city is Park City. The state is Utah. Postal code 84060. Director's name is Shelley, last name Gilwald. Director's phone number 877-730-4911. The director's email is director@pcextremecup.com, and then you'll click Save and Continue. This may take just a couple minutes to bring up your next little roster. All right, when you get to this page, you should again have everybody listed. If you need to add a guest player, or you can add jersey numbers here. They will be required. If you don't know your jersey numbers, you can leave them blank and add them at the time of check-in or shortly thereafter, but they will be required for the games. At this point, you can add on any guest players. To add a guest player, click the Add Player Admin button. You select the player's role and then enter the player's ID number. If you don't know the player's ID number, you can click this little Find ID number on the left-hand side and then enter the last and first name of the player. And then it should add the ID number and hit Save and Continue. We now have a guest player listed. It shows that he's borrowed from the club name over here and that he is a borrowed player. You can add guest players as needed and then go ahead and hit the Save and Continue button once you have everyone added. This should bring up this page. If everything looks good, go ahead and hit the Review and Submit tab at the top of the page. And then go down and hit the Submit Application button, which brings you to this review screen. You will need to hit the Review button again, which brings you up the option of printing a photo roster. Once you click on the photo roster button, it should bring up pictures and a list of everyone on your team, including the loaned player that we added. You must have a picture and the person must be listed on this roster. At this point, you'll go ahead and do Select Format if everything looks good, then PDF, hit the Export button, and you will print 8 copies of this roster and bring them with you to Tournament Check-In. In addition, every player that's a guest player will need to have a specialty action form. You can get this from the UISA website. Go to the Resources tab, down to the Download Center, and then scroll down. The specialty player action form is right here. Pull that up. You'll need to fill out the player team status portion as well as the guest player section. This needs to be signed in this section right here by the player, the parent or guardian, and the current team coach also needs to sign for this player to be eligible to play in the tournament. You will also need to bring with you a signed UISA participant registration form for each player. You can find this form on the UISA website in the Download Center. Player registration form. This form needs to be filled out and signed in both the consent for medical treatment and participation risk statement sections. You may have already received copies of these forms from your parents, and you just need a form for every single player who is playing, including guest players. At check-in, just to summarize, you will need to bring with you 1 copy of your team roster. This does not have pictures. It's just an official roster off of the UISA website. In addition, you need 8 copies of the tournament roster, which has each player, including guest players, as well as pictures of each player. You will need a player participant registration form signed for each player. You will also need any player action forms for guest players. If you have any questions, feel free to email registration at parkcityextremecup.com. Thank you.